Such a short time being alive. All this hardship inconvenience makes it so hard to make sense. I win this and now. I win this and now.
Hello, hello, hello. Are we live? Is this real? Did it happen yet? It's been such a wonderful effort to try to get this biatch live. I think we're good though. I think things have happened. It says excellent connection.
Yay! There's people here. Oh
Yay.
my god.
Oh my god.
I was like,
Wow.
oh my god.
Is this real?
How is this real?
How did this happen?
Sonic Fan 22 says, I loved Venom The Last Dance. Good.
All right. So,
Good. It was a laugh. It was fun, wasn't it?
as per usual, I need you guys to give me some feedback on the audio quality. If we sound awful, if we sound too loud, too quiet. It shows our audio is going right into the red, so it shouldn't be too quiet. I still see music levels. Can you guys hear the music right now? Y'all got to give me some feedback. Let me know what's up. So,
Josh says, sounds perfect.
awfully good, according to Arvin.
Awfully good. The movie or our audio?
Awfully good is what he said.
Okay.
The audio. Just testing. Oh, goody. No thank you.
Haha. Robert Day says, hey guys, y'all should react to Stephen King's It 1990. That was the movie that made me afraid of clowns. Okay? I didn't have a thing against clowns. I wasn't afraid of clowns.
Uh-huh.
That shit, it was the miniseries, right? The one with Tim Curry?
Uh-huh.
Scary as hell. You know, like when you're a kid, or even when you're not a kid, and you're watching a horror movie and it's on TV,
Uh-huh.
and you're really scared, and you're just like, you know what? I could just walk over to the TV right now and just turn it off. I didn't have a remote control. And and it's like, oh, I could do that. But also, the thing on the TV is really scary.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to do that. So instead, I'm going to sit here mesmerized, but like scared out of my freaking mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the dilemma
I
when
see.
you're a scaredy cat like me.
Okay. Can you scoot to your right a little? Or left a little bit?
Achara's audio is a
Left.
tad bit low
Left.
at
Left.
Jaby.
Left. Oh, sorry. Right.
You're like
Go
pointing
right.
that way.
I can't. It's all backwards in the thing. So I'm trying to make it like I'm trying to make it all correct.
Oh, Todd Stephen Burrows says, I'm starting not to remember when I didn't watch you two. Yay for the live. Hooray. Huzzah. Wait, what did someone say about Venom has died for now. King Godzilla. Oh yeah, by the way, you guys, in case you didn't know from the Pikachu, it's a spoiler chat. So if you haven't watched the film, what are you doing here?
The horse is in the damn trailer. It's fine.
No, the horse is in the trailer. I'm just like, this is a spoiler chat, though, just in case people are here and they're like, oh, like I just wanted to hang out on a live stream. But if you didn't want to know anything about Venom, then you're in the wrong place.
He's a character. He's in the MCU. So we're gonna get into it in a hot second. We got so much to talk about with regards to the film. We actually, believe it or not, shot a spoiler talk review the same night we shot a non-spoiler talk.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, well, maybe we do a live stream and see what happened. And then it's been a disaster.
The live stream or the movie?
The live stream. It's been a disaster. Just trying to get this thing
It was stressful.
working.
It was stressful. I've been sipping on my drink. It looks alcoholic, but it's not, and I kind of wish it was.
All right. So
But
now,
it's supposed to like have
all right.
some like fun, happy things.
So, I would love you guys to hit us with some questions about the movie. Let's go all in on the spoilers. I will try my best to recall the movie. Can you pause that? To recall the movie, so we can break it down bit by bit by bit. Achara's audio is low. Okay, please don't scream, Achara. I'm bringing you up. There we go. Talk, talk, talk.
Talk, talk, talk.
Is that better? Let me get out of lyrical territory here and into instrumental.
Instrumental
There we go.
music.
Some nice tech music for Venom to dance to. Okay, so overall, I enjoyed the film. There were people who were like, it seems like y'all are faking your views here, or faking your opinions because you want to keep getting invited back to the screenings.
Oh no.
You're absolutely right. I love Marvel. Everything Marvel does, I've never said anything bad about Marvel ever. I love The Eternals. Best movie ever.
So untrue. Yeah.
So, just to put that out there, they don't care if we say, our true feelings if they happen to be negative. They want us to express ourselves honestly. They wouldn't stand in the way of that. What will get you uninvited is if you go out of your way to like sabotage the company in some way,
Right,
or
yeah.
you know, like you have some inside information, like a leak of some kind, and you just put that out there. That'll
Yeah.
get you in trouble. But like just expressing your opinions, they don't care about. So I was like, it was fun but weird, and then Achara and Courtney were like, loved it. And then people are like, oh, it seems like Jaby's the only honest one. It's like, no, all three of us were honest.
It was fun. I
So-
mean, ever since watching the first movie kind of set the tone for me, right? I was like, this is not a great movie. However, I'm having a fun time. Like, Tom Hardy is really making this movie for me. And so long as Tom Hardy's in it, I'm having fun. You know what I mean? Because he does a really great job as Eddie Brock and Venom. And it's really cute. The rest of the stuff, I'm like, psh, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this one was like kind of the same. So I knew going into it what to expect. I wasn't expecting like an Oscar-winning movie.
So
you know?
what did you think of the end? Should we answer that now, or should we go through the film, you know, bit by bit by bit? Because I like to like really break it down like a low rent budget Eric Voss. You know, like
Yeah, like Walmart version.
Walmart
Dollar
version,
store version.
exactly.
Eric Voss.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, we saw him at the screening.
Yeah, we did.
It was nice to
It
run
was
into him
lovely
again.
to see him.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I did not see Campia's review. So Charles Bachera, I saw the movie. Thoughts on the mediocre credits? Well, first off, thank you for the super chat, which I cannot seem to show for some reason.
It's there. I
What-
see it.
Dumb thing. It won't show me the
We
stupid.
want to give you hearts.
My whole OBS situations were
I don't know how
messed
to do
up.
the other one.
okay. Well, I see the super chat. I acknowledge you, Charles Bachera. So thank you so much for the very first super chat of the stream and of the day.
Oh my God, Serenity joined Patreon?
I don't know what's going
What's taking you so long? Thanks for joining
Okay,
the
so,
family. We love you.
on. Thoughts on the mediocre credits?
They were, yeah.
What about them?
There wasn't really much going on, was there, in the end credit scene?
Was there even a post credits?
Yes, there was. We waited all the way until the end, and then it was just like the cockroach.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
and I was like, wait, what happened?
Well, it says The Last Dance, but it's like it still left room open for like they're not really. You know?
Well, yeah, 'cause
How many times did Michael Jordan retire from the NBA? Like for real. So he can come back. There's two opportunities. There is the cockroach and there is the Mexican. You know?
He can't. They're gonna make him Venom?
No, I'm sorry. I don't mean the Mexican guy. I just mean that there was a sample.
Yes. They took
It's
it.
the same thing. I'm being dumb. Forgive me. The cockroach has the sample now.
Yeah.
The cockroach will
has
be
the
the star.
The shedded Venom. Yeah.
It's all Big AI's endeavor to replace actors. Because the cockroach is going to become
It's not.
Venom for the next trilogy. So,
Honestly, you know, the way things are with Marvel these days and like multiverse and everything and like people being gone and people dying like RDJ as Iron Man and then now he's Doctor Doom or whatever. Like I wanted to feel sad at the end of the movie. But I was
but you're dead
also
inside.
yes, I'm dead inside. Not really.
Hmm.
But I was just like
Okay.
give it enough time.
yeah.
Tom Hardy might come back. They might figure something else out. Like that's the thing now with Marvel. It's like these emotional things happen, but there's a part of me that goes, but they could just be tricking us, or but this isn't really the end. They're not really killing Venom. Like no way, right?
Okay,
Right?
well,
Right?
here's a little offbeat thought that I don't think anyone has talked about.
Mm.
In the opening and in the credits, they were playing rock music, and I got to tell you, I haven't properly heard rock music like in a movie in a while. Like just rock soundtrack music, like some stuff that I've never heard before.
Right.
Because like that's from the 90s when I was a kid, you know, and then it became all kind of hip hop or score. It's one or the other. Like, yeah, there. I made the point. And so it's interesting to see rock music back in the scene. And then the other night, Achara and I went to get Vietnamese food, and we heard rock music on the radio. I'm like, is rock making a comeback? Is it not dead after all? Marilyn Manson, go to hell. Haha, just kidding. He said rock and roll's dead.
Oh.
Yeah, but that was a
Lame.
song years ago. I'm just joking. I don't mean that about Marilyn Manson. do whatever he wants. So, yes, the cockroach has the venom sliver, which is different than the sliver left in the 616 universe.
All of this, like all the different universe stuff, honestly, was a little bit confusing
Okay,
for
so
me.
let's dive in. The very beginning, he had a
Yes.
little like weird shock moment, which ties into like a post-credit scene where he was like inside of a hotel room for a second, and he saw Tom Holland, right, Spider-Man,
Yes.
on the TV, and he's like, "Oh, I like him," and then he's back at the bar. I was kind of confused by that whole opening.
Well, yeah, because that takes place in Earth 616, right? That's like the normal MCU timeline, correct? Am I wrong or am I right? And then it goes back. So I don't even know. It was like Earth 1000 something or other.
That was sorely disappointing, just so y'all know. That is so dumb. It's like you teased us with this whole potential crossover between those two actors,
Yeah.
and then you take it away. Fun fact, by the way, in Tom Hardy's movie Locke, Tom Holland actually played a voice in that movie. It was one of Tom Holland's early credits. It's just wild to think about. They both ended up becoming part of the MCU. So
Because they're so talented.
yes,
Yes.
two Toms. Robert, I'm sorry, I don't have like my proper mic, so this is gonna be kind of lame. Like people are gonna be like, "What is he doing?" Robert Purser. It's so much better with my proper microphone. I might go get it. Hope y'all's weekend is good. I overall enjoyed the movie, but it was random till the third act. I hope Null goes into the MCU and no Sony team up.
Okay. So I know we've got some like big comic heads here in the chat, right? How did you guys feel about Null? Because I know Null about Null. Ha ha ha. Jokes. I don't know anything about Null.
Wow.
Right?
Wow. I was thinking something like that, like null and void.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
dang, you just stole it.
I went there. But I don't know anything about him. So, but I know that he's like really important. And I know that a lot of people were like super excited to see him in the trailer. And then he comes up and I'm like, okay. And he seems to be this like big bad guy, right? Because the symbiotes like had trapped him in that thing. And then he's just like not in the movie, nothing happens. And then it's like, okay, so I guess that was all a setup. I felt disappointed. I felt like someone teased me and then did not deliver. But thinking back on it, because I was thinking about it earlier today, I was like, well, I guess they were teasing Thanos for ages, right? And people who knew who he was were so excited. And then like finally we found out why he was such a big badass. So perhaps that's what they're doing with Null. But I just felt a little bit disappointed because I was like, well, what was the point?
Let me see if I can find a way to do my Twitch voice. Okay. Charles Achara. It's not the same without the microphone. God damn it.
He tells you how to say his name and you still
Basara.
mispronounce
Well, I
it.
didn't get that far yet, Kirk. Okay. Basara, thanks. Oh, if you haven't been on a live stream with us yet, it gets insane in terms of our vibe.
We haven't started drinking yet, but
Yeah.
I was very much thinking about having a drink.
Thanks, and where and what the heck can they make after this? Oh, they got the trilogy with the Karen. Where and what the heck can they make after this?
What
The
Karen?
The white lady with the sparky sparks that decided not to activate herself until well after so many people died.
Dr. Payne,
So
I had issues.
And she was a pain. Why didn't she activate that shit sooner?
Yeah.
Why not? Why not?
I was like, when she finally did, and then she turned into like the super cool one with like all the electricity and like ran super fast, I was like, bitch!
Yeah.
Where were you 20 minutes earlier when all your friends were dying?
Yes.
And you just stood there and watched, dummy.
Yeah. I was like, it was just weird because she saw all these people activating like Power Rangers and shit.
Yeah, they were like getting in the
and
fray.
she's like, not yet.
Not yet.
And I'm like, why not?
For science.
Why not?
For science. I will keep this in my pocket.
Where and what the heck can they make of it? Sony Spideyverse is deader than Snyderverse. Can't believe there's a Spidey noir actually filming. Good grief. Yes, they are starting to film next year or something like that.
Oh, that's Spider-Man 4.
Spider-Man 4.2. So
But
yes.
I think Spidey Noir is different. No, is that
Well,
not?
they're making a Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland. Spider Noir, I think, is Nick Cage or something.
Yeah.
Right? Charles Basara. Rock is alive, as is the Honda Odyssey of music. Haha. Thank you for your super chats. You're the first, third, and fourth super chat. And Robert Piercer, thank you again. Probably said all your names wrong. Okay, so anyway, the beginning, there's like a whole like thing, and then he's at the bar, and it's like time has passed, and then Venom wants to drink, and so there's like this whole thing with, there's
So
like,
making a cocktail.
yeah.
That's cute.
I was trying to think of like what's the reference? Patrick Swayze?
Cocktail.
Is it cocktail?
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
I've never even seen the movie, and I know the reference.
Anyway, so he's making a cocktail, making a big mess right after the Mexican guy cleaned up the bar, and I wanted to laugh, but I felt so bad for that Mexican guy because he just cleaned up.
I know.
And,
If you've ever been a server, you know the feeling.
it's just like, come on, man, that's just not nice. Like, it's not. If he was a jerk, then I'd be laughing. But they made him a nice guy, And then he gets kidnapped and then put in an internment camp or something for the whole movie. It's like, is this a message? It's just like, why are they doing this to this guy? It's
Poor
so
guy.
messed up.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, yeah. And then after that, what comes next? We have the flashback. That's what it was. So, okay, I just want to let you all know I enjoyed the movie. However, we didn't get to talk about spoilers yet, and so because of that, it will feel like this is skewing more negative because we didn't get to say a lot of the negative things in our non-spoiler initial thoughts discussion.
Because they would be spoilers.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So just know that I liked it. Achara really liked it, but we will get into stuff that we didn't like, which will make it feel more negative than positive. So, which I'm guessing, based on some of the comments here, a lot of people felt negative about it or something. I had fun. I did have fun.
Yeah. What movie did you think you were going to watch?
So, the flashback. Wow, was that heavy-handed? Like, I was just like, this is such a B-movie flashback with the kids on the beach.
Oh, yeah,
When a lightning strikes, go inside, or whatever the hell he said. It was so by the numbers, paint by numbers, flashback. Like, can you like parse this out over the course of the movie? Like, just have the lightning on her arm. That's a clue. What is that about? And then you find out over the course of the film, and then you feel smart, like a old school Shyamalan movie, where it's like you start to piece it together, and you feel like a smart audience member, as opposed to it just being thrown in your face.
Yeah, it was really clunky.
Like the Splatoon video game. Like, come on, man. And then she wakes up, and she's just like, whatever. Okay, and then there was a cool little odd misdirect when she shows up in the truck. I thought she was a reporter or something. I didn't realize she was a scientist.
Right.
And so
she's a cool scientist.
Yeah.
You know?
So that was a nice, interesting misdirect, sort of. But then they activate the acid stuff, right? Because what's his name? Chiwetel Ejiofor. He puts his face on the thing. That's a setup for the end of the movie. And it goes boop boop boop, and then the acid just goes. And it's just out in the open, which I find very odd. But it is Area 51, so who knows? It's based on 50s technology, I guess.
Yeah.
So, Robert Presser. The retcon of Venom leaving a bit of his symbiote in the MCU was weird and disappointing. Not sure how they're going to set up the black suit now.
Yeah, I only just realized actually that that's the MC, because like it's so confusing going back between like the different Earths, right? So thank you for clarifying, Robert, because that's right. It's an Earth 616, which means it's in the MCU timeline.
Okay.
So well, yeah, I guess it's in Mexico, so maybe Spider-Man has to go to Mexico. Or, I mean, Venom, he can just jump anywhere and end up on a plane in New York, and then he can get the black suit.
I don't care. So, anyway, then the acid thing happens, so we set that up, right? And then they go underground, and there's this long expository dialogue between Doctor Strange's nemesis and Captain Karen. So you got those two having this dialogue underground, like, isn't it neat how we're underground? People think there's UFOs still. They really are. Haha, they'll never find us in here. And they're like explaining it to each other much in the same way that they explained to Matthew McConaughey right before they go into the wormhole what a wormhole is. It's like, you would have found that out during all the astronauting that you're doing back on Earth, like all the training. That's when you would find out what a wormhole is, not right before you go into the wormhole and they show you the piece of paper with this pencil through it. That's stupid. Like, why would you do that right before you enter, right?
Yeah.
And so
it's for us. It's
for us, but it feels like it's for us, and I hate when I see that. That's what it is. It's like, that's the thing that's just like, you sort of ignore that and you go, oh, okay, more Tom Hardy, please. More Venom and Tom Hardy, please, because that's the good stuff. That's what I was talking about in the non-spoiler talk. Is just like all this other stuff is just it's just a big mess, and the only thing that's working is Tom Hardy in this movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And Venom.
And they're both Tom. They're all Tom Hardy. Basically, it's just Tom Hardy.
It's the Tom Hardy show.
It's the Tom Hardy show.
Yeah.
And we love it.
Rafiq145. Hi, guys. Who do you think would be the perfect cast for Miles Morales if they put him in Spider-Man 4?
Oh gosh. I hate
Gary Oldman.
these
So,
questions. I
um,
can't. I feel like just you need to just find a really talented young black actor, and maybe I don't know who he is yet.
He's not just black though.
Oh, that's right, because he's mixed, so you got to get all of that going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway. So Tom Holland wants to make one of his Spider-Man films be the film that introduces Miles Morales. Like, it's a big deal for him.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be so cool.
So you can tell they were scientists because they wore lab coats.
Oh, why else would you? Maybe they worked in a pharmacy. Who knows?
Ninja Theory, you made me laugh. That's funny. Hold on. Have you been paying attention to the chats?
Yes, I have.
Okay, great. Okay, so anyway, they go through that whole process, right? And then Venom and Tom Hardy are going about their business. How does this work? Oh, we have a whole thing with Null. That was the beginning of the movie.
That was the
very beginning of the movie.
yes.
The whole thing with Null and seeing all the symbiotes and whatever, and go and find me the something. And I'm like, I didn't hear half of what he said. I was just focused on the fact that it looked like Final Fantasy to me. Like,
Which I was looking at the Final Fantasy like cutscenes. I'm like, it actually looks a lot better than Final Fantasy, but sure.
well, to be fair to Jaby, the Final Fantasy I'm referencing is from like 20 years ago, when CGI was being first implemented onto these CDs for PlayStation 1.
I used the wrong thing. I used the wrong image. Because I was looking at
You know what?
Final Fantasy 7.
Me and the
new
audience are
one.
aligned on this. Total degaff.
Yeah.
So it's fine. No, it's in Mexico in Venom's verse, not in
Not in
Spider-Man's.
Spider-Man's. Okay. See, this is what's confusing about it. I thought it was that originally, and then now I'm like, wait, was it? I don't get it, man.
Yeah.
But honestly, much like Jaby throughout this whole live stream, degaff. And I think the movie didn't give it F2. Do you know what I mean? The movie was just like, listen, we're just here to give you guys a good time. Were you not entertained? You were entertained. Thank you.
I just put up a poll because I had this feeling. Like, you got Chiwetel Ejiofor in there, who was just in Doctor Strange. It
Yeah.
wasn't like 10 years removed, like that black dude in 24. None of you know who I'm talking about because none of you watch 24 enough. There's an actor who is in 24 who plays like this African warlord guy, but he also played an FBI agent in a previous season.
Oh.
Like, it's the same show though, and so it's weird. But that this was just as weird for me. It's like, okay, are we that limited on talent in Hollywood that we had to use the same dude that was in a noteworthy role in Doctor Strange?
Yeah. And I was also confused as well because, well, not confused. I knew what was going on.
73% of the audience is like, you dumb jam.
But like, okay, so I love Rhys Ifans, and I loved him in this movie. I thought he was one of the highlights next to Tom Hardy, as like the hippie guy, right?
Yeah.
But when he first showed up, I couldn't help going, but he's in the Amazing Spider-Man though.
Yeah.
Like, isn't he Lizard?
Yeah.
Is that like, isn't he Dr. Connors? Like,
True that.
what is going on here? This is Sony. I can understand them choosing Chiwetel Ejiofor and putting him in this movie because he's like MCU and like, that's on the other side.
Did I read this already? I don't know if I did. Robert Brucer. The retcon of Venom leaving a bit of symbiote in the MCU is weird. We did read that.
Read it,
Not sure they're
yes.
going to set up the black suit now. Yeah, I did read that. Okay. Yeah, the whole thing's weird. Okay, so moving forward, we reach this point in the film where I'm missing a connection here. So for some reason Venom wants to get somewhere and they end up on a flight. Where was he trying to go?
Yeah, he needs to go back.
To what? Their whole reputation was ruined. That's what it was.
Yeah.
He got framed for murder, and he's trying to like get back somewhere because they need to like blackmail somebody in New York. It
Yeah.
was something like that. And then Venom was all excited about the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
So that was the setup. And then they're on the plane, and then that's when the like gangly creature shows up and sees Venom, and then it starts attacking them on the plane
Because he's the Codex.
because he's the Codex. That whole thing was interesting. Is that based on the comic book? The whole Codex thing?
Why are you asking me like I know?
I don't know. in New York to convince the judge that convicted him. Great,
Yes,
thank you.
thank you.
And so there's a fight on the plane, which is kind of cool. And then I don't even know I'm on the screen. There's a fight on the plane, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But that right there speaks to what I was talking about. I don't know if I mentioned in the spoiler thing that we didn't put out or the non-spoiler, but the CGI was adequate. It wasn't amazing. It was adequate for me. Because that whole plane sequence, I'm like, this is like a fun cartoon. I'm buying into it, but it doesn't. I'm not forgetting that I'm watching zeros and ones fight right now. That's what I'm trying to say.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I think for me, I was just really impressed with the bad guy creatures, the really scary ones with like a lot of teeth. I thought that they looked really cool, and then there were certain moments as well where Venom was looking really cool, when he was in his full form, you know. So yeah, I liked it. For me, the VFX was working well. It probably started to fall apart a little bit more when you had all the different symbiotes fighting.
Oh, but at that point, I was so wrapped up in how cool this setup was that I didn't mind the VFX.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was so cool that we got to see so many different ones just fighting. I was sad that they weren't able to that so many of them were just kind of getting taken out so quickly. I wanted to see them just be cooler, you know?
Charles Bassara. The Codex was Charles is on a roll today. The Codex was just a MacGuffin for this film, Yon. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
here's the thing. Yes, but I liked it. I liked the MacGuffin because it necessitated a sacrifice of some kind. It's like it involves the ultimate sacrifice of like you have to give up yourself to save everybody.
Yeah.
Right? And I thought that's just like, I mean, we've seen that a lot, I guess, at this point, but I do like that as a conundrum because I feel like it's easily relatable. It's like, what would you do in that situation? Would you give yourself up if it means saving everybody? And
But it was such a nice arc for Venom as well.
Correct.
Because of like the love and friendship that he had developed over the course of all this time with Eddie. Like, it was incredibly moving, in fact, to watch him be like, no, you stay here, I'm going to do this thing. And they're both like, ah!
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, no.
So, someone just mentioned, does Christmas Tree, Ninja Theory Ashrams, let me did Christmas Tree have a real name? So thank you for asking. I don't know. But that right there spoke to the weird writing in this movie.
Yeah.
That just like was like, what are you doing, film? Like, because Chiwetel Ejiofor is like, why do you have a Christmas tree on your thing? Oh, because of my family, blah blah blah. The people are in this side of the are so weird, and it's like, it's an attempt to have depth to this environment, but it just came off as just like hammy. It was the hammiest part of the film.
It was just odd because it never came back around, and I kind of felt the same way about.
Well, she looked like a Christmas tree when she became a Venom.
Well, yeah, that's about it. But like, even the thing with the lady, Dr. Payne, right, and her lightning thing. It's like, I get it. You want to set up that she has this cool additional power or whatever, but when it happened, I didn't find it particularly exciting because I was just like, oh, because I didn't feel anything for her. They were trying to set up all of this to make you feel like an emotional connection with the character.
What I'm trying to say is like,
it's like,
I didn't give a shit about anybody in this movie except for Venom.
Yeah.
That's the issue with the movie. Is like, they tried to get us to care by having these like superficial things like a Christmas tree on her shirt. I'm like, what? Okay. Anyway, so yeah, I didn't care about anyone but Venom. You
know what?
What?
So, Tom Hardy was one of the writers on the movie.
He probably wrote his own lines.
And like, yeah.
That's probably all it was.
Oh, is that why he has to get writer credit?
Yeah, that's probably all it was. Anyways,
I'm like, maybe he just made himself.
We're
so
jumping
cool.
all over the place. By the way.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm gonna
Charles
shut up.
Bassara, rolling cause he's rocking. See what I did there? Thank you. Thank you so much for all the supers. Now I can buy lunch again. Okay, so we got some regular chats that seem like they're worth following here. He says that Eddie in the comics, Earth 616 is the blonde blue eyes appearance. Christmas tree became Christmas tree symbiote, and Chubby security card became Chubby
Yeah,
symbiote.
no, but that's stupid though.
So here's my issue, and you guys can tell me if someone else has pointed this out. My issue with the symbiotes is I didn't give a fuck about any of them.
Yeah.
Like, it was cool to see them, but I had zero connection to anyone who became a symbiote in this movie. However, it was the ingredients were right there. The family should have become the Venom symbiotes. It was like right
Shazam!
there. They should have became like the Venom Shazam family. That would have been so fucking funny and so perfect. Because this whole time, Dad's like, I don't know if aliens are real. Oh, let's go to Area 51. And then, like, how crazy would it be? Not only is this mind-blowing seeing aliens, but he becomes fused with one as a symbiote. Like, get out. That would have been so fun and so funny and speaks to the whole vibe and tone of the movie. But no,
I think I would have been too concerned about the children to really enjoy that. But yes.
Whatever. It would have been great. And so that's my sorry. Go ahead. Talk about it.
What?
What about the children? You've been too concerned about them?
Yeah. Well, like when we watched Flashpoint Paradox, I felt really sad with the Shazam kids. I was like, that's why you don't bring the kids to the fight.
Screw it. Go for it. Make it a Korean film. Kill one of them off. Then we could feel really sad. I don't know. Like look, that's what you do in Korean cinema. And Parasite won Best Picture. Venom: Last Dance could have gone up for Best Picture. I'm just saying. So all you got to do is kill one of the kids. This is such dark humor. I've gone too far.
You've gone too far.
Flicked too hard, Jaby.
Flicked too hard.
And so, okay. So anyway, yeah, I thought that it should have been the family that became the symbiotes because I have a connection with them. So just in the chats just now, someone who super chatted earlier said something about them. Robert Purser said, yeah, the family wasn't needed in the movie. I disagree.
I love the family.
100%. And the reason why I disagree 100% is because they were one of the shining moments of the film that actually grounded it and gave it some emotional weight.
Yeah.
When Tom Hardy was in the car, they did this really cool thing. Anytime a film can take us from feeling like either like borderline cringe or laugh all the way, and then take us and swing us the other direction and make us feel emotional, that's to me a mark of good filmmaking, right? At least in that little pocket, right?
Yeah.
And so in the van, there was that whole thing where they're like playing the ukulele or whatever, and Tom Hardy does not want to join in. I felt seen because I would not want to join in at all. And then so like there's that whole music moment, and then it switches on you and becomes this emotional thing where Tom Hardy realizes like I could have had a family, and without even seeing the flashback of his girlfriend and all that stuff,
Yeah.
you got it. Like I felt like they were kind of leaning on the audience to have a bit of brains, to have a bit of knowledge, and go, this is what he's feeling in that moment. Just off of his look, you know what he's feeling. It's like, yes, thank you. That was actually good filmmaking right there, and I felt something.
Yeah, no, and like, you get to learn so much about Eddie, his character, his desires, and Venom and their relationship together. And I just thought like Eddie's interaction with the young boy was really sweet as well. And that's also just because, like, I think I like Tom Hardy, and I think he's great, and he's also really great with children. So I'm like, oh, he's so cute, in his like little dad mode. I loved it.
Some people are saying they could have used another hour to and I agree with you. And I think it not only could it have been another hour, it could have been rated R. I feel like you and Courtney said you all felt scared. I didn't feel any fear. Not that a film has to be rated R for me to feel scared, because Jurassic Park scared the shit out of me, and so, but I was a kid. But I'm just saying, like, you can induce fear in your audience even at PG-13. But this is like a character that is venomous. It's like it just feels like we're pulling our punches, much in the same way that we were pulling our punches with Wolverine for years until Logan. And so, I don't know. It just felt like we could have gone further. We've already seen comic book films go rated R. Not that I want all comic book films to be rated R, but like it felt like this one could have gone there, and it would have been fine. So, but anyway, yeah, it had shining moments. It's like it's just not greater than some of its parts, or whatever the saying is. You know what I mean?
No, it's not. I mean, yeah, these days. Well, obviously, this is probably the last dance for Venom, right? But I don't ever go into a Venom movie expecting it to be great.
Speaking of Last Dance, I thought that whole dance sequence was amazing.
Yes.
I fight me. I will die on this hill.
I loved it.
Like, I thought that was.
And I saw a chat saying like, "Oh, how would you feel if Spider-Man 4 was a musical?" Yes, please. Have you seen Tom Holland dance? I mean, her career started because of Billy Elliot. like the stage show, right? Was it the stage show?
Yes.
Yeah. And so he's a dancer. Did you see him on that lip sync show where he did Rihanna Umbrella? Amazing. Let the boy dance. I mean, man, he's a man now. I'll watch.
I want to know what people think of the family, because like one person said they didn't care for it. Now I'm curious if I'm the only one that likes the family. Did you like the family in the movie? Yes or no?
Yes or no?
So okay. So where are we? We've jumped the shark many times in
Wait,
this conversation.
Much like the
So-
movie, but like, who cares?
So okay. Oh, that's what it was. So after the whole airplane sequence, right? Weaving it back, just like Trump says. Courtney was like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "That's Trump's new phrase, weaving it." I heard it when he was on Andrew Schultz's podcast, and then he said it again on what little I heard of the Joe Rogan podcast. And so, anyway, what am I talking about? Oh yeah, so they're walking through the field. I am weaving successfully. So they're walking through the field, right? And Tom Hardy's like, "What happened?" And so Venom is just like on his. You see me? Okay, I don't know what screen we had. So he's like on his back and looking around. I love the shit out of that scene. I thought it was so great because you have Tom Hardy acting with Tom Hardy, right? And it's the CGI was so good in that moment. I bought into the whole thing. I bought into the emotions of Venom in that moment. The genuine fear. I felt more fear there than I did in the previous film when he had fear with
Carnage.
Carnage, yeah. Like that whole sequence was great. I thought it was fantastic. Anyway, what did you think of it?
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Are you paying attention?
No.
After the whole
zoned
debacle,
out.
after the debacle with the plane, Tom Hardy's like, "What happened here?" And he like lost a shoe or something. The whole that was
that was like a funny, weird bit that never really.
it wasn't
came back.
funny. It wasn't funny, but it was a bit.
I feel
Yeah.
like they were going to do something else because I noticed that with Christmas, she had like a pair of sneakers, and they did a close up on the sneakers, like they were right there, and I feel like there was an additional joke with the sneakers,
yeah.
but I feel like so many things just got left on the cutting room floor. Like you said, there's probably like a director's cut of this
Yeah.
somewhere.
Battle.
with all
Oh,
the
I
other
felt that
bits.
immediately. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like a longer version. Of Battle guy says, no, I need TMNT, the musical dance, ninja rap, go ninja, go.
Go ninja, go.
That song killed Vanilla Ice's career, and that's why he does real estate instead. So Patty LuPone is the closest we're getting to musicals in the MCU.
Great, wasn't
She was
he?
fantastic. What are we talking about? We're talking about, okay, so the whole sequence in the desert when he's walking with one shoe and Venom's freaked out. You didn't like that scene? I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about right now. Go ahead, you go.
it was nice.
Okay.
I don't have anything more to say about that.
I thought it was great. I thought it was, they did some interesting stuff at the very top of that scene too, that for some reason they only did it the one time. But there was a shot, it was a two-shot of Tom Hardy and Venom's on his back, right? And so Venom kind of, he peers out and looks ahead, and for a fleeting moment he was out of focus. And I think that's what made me buy into the whole thing even more, is they deliberately made Venom go out of focus. The way it would happen is if there was two actual people there and one got close to camera. I thought that was just a neat little touch. And I acknowledge you CGI artists that are working hard and sitting under your
Yeah.
desks. Like, I acknowledge you. And so, by the way, I don't know if you guys watched in the credits, a lot of this shit was outsourced to India. There was so much that was outsourced to India. Like, you
Yeah.
could see the whole credits, how many sings and cons there were in there in the credits that did all that. I'm guessing it was rotoscoping more than anything that they were being handed.
Usually that's what they do. Yeah.
But anyway, what are we talking about?
That scene in the
Yeah.
desert and how much you loved it. It was
Yeah,
like the best ever, and like you appreciate the CGI artists. Yep.
Yeah, and so we're going between that and our little. I don't know if I mentioned it. I think I lightly mentioned it in the non-spoiler, but there was two Independence Day kind of references for me, and most people like the family, by the way.
Yeah.
So good. I'm
Good.
glad.
Good. End the poll before they can hate them.
Yeah, exactly. So
Uh-huh.
someone said, Thunder God Cairo says, I hated the dancing scene. Let's blow our cover, dude.
That's true. I did think about that initially, and then I was like, I'm having way too much fun, and I'm loving that Venom is just so excited about this thing, like this dance that he's choreographed with Mrs. Chen, that he just has to show Eddie. He's like,
Yeah.
check me out.
Look,
Wow.
I gotta understand your feeling, Thunder God Cairo.
It was dumb.
I understand your feeling. It's valid. It's been 30 years, and I still don't understand why Mushu blew up the rocket on the mountain right before the Huns fought them. Like, that was just dumb to me. So I don't know why he did that.
Never let it go.
To this day, it bothers me because I didn't know if he was a real person or just a made up thing in Mulan's head until that moment. So anyway, we're not talking about that. What the hell are we talking about? So
This movie.
but after that sequence, there was the whole thing going back and forth. I thought of Independence Day. That's what it was. So Independence Day. See, I'm weaving. Independence Day, because there's that sequence with the actor who plays Data. He had the aliens thing wrapped around his neck and pushed against the window, and then
He was the
in
actor that played Data?
in Independence Day.
Oh.
And so he's pushed against the window, and the alien starts talking through him to the president. Right? Through the
Yeah.
glass.
Yeah.
That whole sequence, it's like, it sticks in my mind. It's like very easy for me to remember that. And so when I see that playing out in Venom, not in a aggressive, violent way or anything, but it's just like aliens talking to people and like the feelings, it felt very much like Independence Day to me. And there's that.
Oh, that's why it
so-
made you think of Independence Day.
Yes, and-
okay, I thought
yeah.
it was just because it was aliens.
Well, that too. But and then the other element that felt so much like Independence Day to me was the family traveling in the whatever the hell that is, a Winnebago or whatever, the caravan.
Yeah.
Looking for aliens and stuff like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
with the dad who believes in aliens. Like, that just felt like Independence Day. Two elements there.
Oh, I wanted to say, in talking about the like alien using the human to talk, I thought that Stephen Graham did a really great job. Like,
Is it Graham or Graham?
Graham.
Is this like Herb and Herb?
Yes, but he's English. He's from the UK.
Okay,
it's
so just so you guys
Stephen
know what we're talking
Graham.
about, in the U.S. we say herbs, and then in Achara land they say herbs.
A herb.
And so anyway, so I always thought it was Graham, like graham crackers, and you're telling me now that that's wrong because he's English.
It's Graham.
Y'all invented the language and you make it so hard. Okay.
It's not Stephen Graham. Blech. Stephen Graham.
All right.
Okay. Anyway,
I didn't make that joke up though. But, that's from Snatch.
I thought he did a really great job. And I do appreciate when you have like really, really good actors come on a goofy movie like this and they're like, I am still an actor. I will give everything.
He was good.
I thought he was great.
He's from Snatch, right? Can you click on his picture? I think he's from Snatch.
And a lot of things.
Actually,
Yeah,
Snatch. Yeah,
Tommy.
he's Tommy.
Yeah.
So anyway, I lost my train of thought again. Okay, they're walking through the desert,
Uh-huh.
and then we go underground, and there's a whole thing about like understanding the aliens and whatever. And then we have a sequence that's actually really cool. It's my favorite. It's one of my favorite sequence. Bottle of water. That's what Defunct just wanted you to say it. Sorry, I was just taking it.
A bottle of water.
No, you're supposed to say it like Tom Holland.
A bottle of water? What?
Great.
What? Anyway.
Oh,
alright.
Brent Spinner. That's correct, Marco. So maybe Venom should have found a nice huge tuxedo to make the dance scene with Miss Chen a bit better. It was fine.
That's fine.
But yeah, I mean, sure. But you're right. Like, it was silly, the whole thing with him, blowing his cover. But it's called The Last Dance.
You gotta have a dance.
Even though the Michael Jordan documentary didn't have any dancing in it, they got away with that. I needed a dance sequence in this, and I thought it was fantastic. And it just went in line with Venom's personality.
Yeah.
Like, he'll forget. He'll forget that the world is at stake. And
Like, but a dance is important right now.
Yeah.
I need to have fun. It's like, yo, dude, like you're in your full form. The codex is visible. This thing, it's gonna come any minute now. But
Yeah.
the dance was worth it.
Yes. Yes.
100%.
Yes. There's a Michael Jordan. Yes. I feel gaslit. There's a Michael Jordan documentary called The Last Dance, isn't there?
Isn't it?
Isn't that what it's called?
I thought so. Let me see.
Michael.
I will look it up for you.
The Last Dance.
Okay.
It's called The Last Dance. Yeah.
It was a very good documentary.
Also related to the MCU. So afterwards, we have the action sequence where they're being hunted down, right? And that whole river sequence was actually really cool.
That was really good. That was my favorite action sequence, I think, in the whole movie.
Let me get a.
Because it was really different.
Yeah, I'm listening.
I haven't really seen too many like river action scenes that were quite as thrilling as that. Just thought it was so cool, like the way that they were fighting under the water, and then you had like Venom coming through, like piggybacking off the different aquatic life until he gets back to Eddie. I just love their relationship. It's like, no, that's my body.
Yeah.
Let me help him. Yeah.
Yeah. I just put up a poll asking what people thought just to get a vibe check. But just had a burp.
Did you burp?
Yes.
Wow.
Finally
You
catching.
didn't even like.
Hello, Nikki Marie. Thank you for being here. What are we talking about? Nolan Spider-Man 4? I don't know. Maybe. I assumed off of everything that transpired in this movie, because they killed most of the symbiotes off. It in a way that I don't know if I was just sort of twitching a little bit when I saw it. And I'm like, fuck it, whatever. It is what it is. Because they like got sent through the wood chipper, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, but there's symbiotes. Like,
I know. I wanted them to be a little bit more badass, but I guess they were showing that these creatures were more badass. But then you kind of get to a point where you're like, so what now? Like, how do we beat them? Because everybody's just being killed. Ugh.
so, okay. After the river sequence, they get kidnapped. Something.
They get brought.
I think
to-
I'm mixing up the order of events in this movie a little bit.
Oh, it's okay. Like you said, no one cares.
When do they? And then he gets out, and then he goes to Vegas, right?
Yeah, they go to Vegas.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to figure out when Vegas actually happened in the movie. I'm a little mixed up. So the whole So he gets pulled underground, right? He doesn't have Venom with him for the first time.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what's it called when it's foreshadowing what's going to happen, which is he's not going to have Venom anymore. So that was a cool little moment, right? Because he's realizing what it's like to be without Venom for the first time, and it's priming him for what's to come. But the whole Christmas tree lady, like, they kind of set her up as someone who's got empathy, right?
Yeah.
Because after Chiwetel Ejiofor's soldiers died, Karen goes, that's not her name, by the way, no. But Karen goes, do you have any samples? And he's like, samples, bitch? And like the way he looked at her, I thought that was great. It was one of the few moments where I'm like, Chiwetel Ejiofor killed it. Because I didn't like his performance in this film for the most part, but I thought that one scene, he actually did a really good job.
Yeah.
So I know you and Courtney liked him a lot.
No, I thought he was fine. I thought that my one thought about that scene was he kind of did a little bit too much.
Chiwetel?
Yeah, it was really great at first. I don't know if it was his fault. I feel like they should have cut it.
I completely disagree with you about him being good at first, but go ahead.
No, because when he does the look,
Uh-huh.
when she's like, do you have any samples? And he's like, I forgot what he says exactly, but along the lines of like, samples? Really?
Yeah.
And he gives that really great look.
Yeah.
And then they keep cutting back to him on the iPad, like just staring. I'm like, I got it. Just cut there.
We
It was
need
great.
more.
It was great.
More cowbell, please.
Yeah, this movie was basically like a lot of cowbell.
So after that, he's underground, and there's a whole sequence where Christmas Tree breaks Venom out, right? Mm-hmm. It breaks out Venom and Tom Hardy, and I'm like, this could have been better set up. Like, I know that you set it up, but shit was happening so fucking fast in the movie.
Everything was
like,
happening too
I'm
fast.
like, oh yeah, that's right. She cares about people. I'm like, no, but I should have kind of known that would happen. You know what I mean? That was so messy, because I'm like, I forgot that she's even a person, because she was basically as good as an NPC.
She
You know what I
kind of
mean?
was, yeah, until she was like, no, I have to do something. And then she turned into like a complete badass green symbiote. But yeah. Oh, Bex says, if you all actually think Venom is good, on Cinepals, you guys should watch the more superior film Upgrade with Logan Marshall Green.
Already saw
Love
that.
that movie. I've seen it twice.
Yeah.
We went to the premiere of that film.
That's how I met, what's his name?
James Wan.
James Wan. Yeah.
And the director of the movie. But yeah, no, he totally does look like Tom Hardy. And if you guys haven't seen Upgrade and you enjoy like a really fun, slightly cerebral action movie, definitely check out Upgrade. The action is dope.
Yeah, it'll make you afraid of driverless
AI.
cars.
Yeah.
So, Rhys Ifans plays the dad in the family, and I thought he was perfect.
So good.
He was so good. The whole
So
family was
good.
great. I
But
mean,
especially Reese.
yeah, like he was just did such a good job. That's who I wasn't talking about in the non-spoiler
Yeah.
review. It's like, dude, like, Thank you for giving such an awesome performance.
And like when he and Tom Hardy were together, it was pure magic for
Yeah.
me. I was just like, wow, these two are really great. They're doing so many cool, fun little things in their scene work together. And like, yeah, they put a huge smile on my face, and I just thought that they were so fantastic. And then then the family as a whole were super great.
Okay, so Rafiq145, your thoughts on the whole Venom trilogy? Is it bad? It's
not.
It's a Zangief thumbs up.
Yeah, it's not
It's just
good.
like it's there, and it's a time pass, and you watch it and you're like, cool. I think that it's a perfect trilogy actually, and the reason why is because you can hang out with your friends and watch it and talk shit and enjoy it at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's not so bad that you have to like it ironically. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's one of those things where you can just enjoy it with your friends.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
It's a good time if you're just looking for a movie to pass the time and have a good time. You don't want to think too hard about it. You kind of want to escape from your real life because your job is stressful. Like my sister and her husband, I remember them really enjoying the first Venom film.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? But it's not a great movie. They're like, yeah, but it was fun. Like,
Yes.
I had so much fun. It was really funny.
Now-
I thought it was really cute.
All that
Like,
said,
okay.
could they have improved it? Oh, yes, they could have.
Yes.
Like, the whole trilogy could have been improved. But the second one, I don't know if I would revisit. It's just the first and third one I would revisit, I think. The second one, I mean, I would.
True.
Yeah.
The first one, there was something really charming about it because it was the whole, like, them establishing their relationship, the fish out of water thing, Eddie being like, no, you absolutely cannot eat people.
Yeah.
Like, but I want to. And it's like, no, don't. You know, like, that was really cute. It was really fun. But yeah, the second one was a little bit like, what?
Lonza Reed, hi, my name is Lingerie. I'm a big fan of you guys. I hope you guys show some more movies and TV shows. I really enjoy watching you guys. You got some things I saw you watching Batman. Thank you.
Thank you.
Underwater fight scene was great. Glad
Yeah.
you liked it, Defunctus.
Yeah.
So this consensus on She Would Tell Ejiofor after 18 votes, there's 110 people in the. Can you guys vote? So
Don't forget to vote.
because only 18 people voted on She Would Tell Ejiofor. I just want to know how y'all feel. Otherwise, 18 people is representing everybody.
Yeah.
So after he gets kidnapped and then he breaks out. There's the whole scene where he goes to. He's in a dirty ass shirt, by the way. And
I saw someone saying that they kept getting taken out.
Yes,
because
I
of
saw that too.
The continuation error.
yeah.
That's a very Andrew thing, and I love that.
The continuity error. So I didn't notice that it was switching between blood and mud or whatever it was on the shirt.
Yeah, that wasn't really anything I was paying
I would-
too much attention to.
I would imagine that was something that the board was like, you know, the parental guidance board or whatever was like, this has to be rated R because of the blood on his shirt.
Oh.
And so they maybe toned it down sometimes or something like that. I don't know. That's
Good
my
point,
thought.
good
Like, why
point.
would you do that otherwise?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The one F word in this movie was like a hard F word, you know, because it wasn't like I'm fucked or just, you know, the 4-letter. It was like mother effer. You know, it was like a full-blown hard F word. And so I'm like, okay, you got to tone down the blood now. You got to
Because
pick.
you wanted it so badly.
Yeah, I would imagine it was something like that. Because it was like, well, you have to pick which one is going to survive the ratings board, right? It's like, do you want the mother effer or do you want the blood on his shirt? Fewer people care about the blood on his shirt. More people will care about the ha-ha they will derive from that mother effer.
Sure.
You know, because it was
sure,
the perfect
sure.
moment. Speaking of which, in that whole action sequence, right? How can you say that the family was not necessary? They added so much because there was a moment where Venom was about to get killed, or Tom Hardy, and then the dad comes up with the gun and kills the alien, right? And the alien's head falls on the ground, and then kind of looks at the dad, and the dad goes, "I'm sorry," and then runs off. And he runs off like a bitch, and I loved it because that's what I would have done. Like, it was so perfect. It was so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They gave me so much laughter. I mean, I guess maybe in terms of story, no, we didn't need them. But I think in terms of grounding the character, giving it more heart,
Yeah.
I think we absolutely needed them because otherwise it would just be like a bunch of exposition.
Yeah. Do you think they should have added Venom to Spider-Man No Way Home? would that have been great for the franchise? I think Spider-Man No Way Home already had a lot going on. No, I don't think they could have added him there, but I do think we need some kind of Tom Hardy, Tom Holland, Spider-Man, Venom crossover. And if this is Venom's swan song or whatever, it's like, what? You set it up though. I don't know. With the whole, like you were saying earlier, the whole multiverse thing, it's kind of hard to know what's going on, you know? So,
Yeah.
Okay, so after he gets to Vegas, there was the guy who was peeing, and he pees right on Tom Hardy's foot.
Yes.
And then Tom Hardy goes into the suit, and I immediately was like, why haven't we gotten a Tom Hardy James Bond movie? This is bullshit. And so there was supposed to. This is the one part of the film that I really wish they changed. They go into the casino, and they start gambling, and it's like, maybe it's to be ironic, but I'm thinking he's got Venom. He should be able to crush these Vegas games and win some money.
How?
Because he's got Venom.
What does Venom do?
I don't know. He's got something. Somehow Venom would be able to tell him something.
You're saying like Venom would be able to like count cards or something.
Yeah, like okay. Remember in Upgrade, you know, he's the machine inside the dude is able to like scan the whole room and figure shit out.
Yeah.
I thought Venom could be like that and help him win some dough. I don't know.
I don't know how helping Eddie survive and being super strong is gonna help you win against the house in Vegas. I don't.
What was the point of that? What was the point of the gambling there?
To see Mrs. Chen.
You could have gotten both. I just like when Tom Hardy was being forced to do the slots. I'm just like, what are we doing here? I don't understand the point of this scene. It's not amusing me. It's just like it's making me annoyed with Venom. That's what it was. It's like that. I didn't like that. Was
You were like, why did you lose all the money?
yeah?
Venom?
That was just as aggravating for me as the bar scene near the beginning. Like those are the two moments I was unhappy with Venom in the entire film, which is far and few between. But like, yeah. But then
it was funny.
Then it saved itself because Mrs. Chen showed up, and I was like, okay, cool.
And she's like, oh my
Yeah.
God, I've been winning so much. They gave me a penthouse. You guys want to come to my penthouse? Yes, Mrs. Chen, we would love to.
I low key wanted to see some kind of thing between Tom Hardy and Mrs. Chen.
Like what?
Fuck if I know. I just wanted to see like a kiss or something, or like the second MCU love scene in the entire. You know what I'm saying? Like something, because like you would never imagine him and Mrs. Chen would hook up.
No.
But then in that moment, she was being extra like, you know, she was being quite extra because she was 3 sheets to the wind. She had a lot of alcohol on her, right? So come on, like. There was this like unspoken attraction the entire time that we just didn't know about. I would have been all in. I'm like, yeah, go for it. You get yours. Like,
I feel like she was more attracted to Venom. Like,
Then fine.
That would have cracked me up if she and Venom had kissed.
I wanted something there. I wanted some kind of nonsense. It's like, okay, might as well.
Yeah, just to put a hat on a hat and have more nonsense than we
Yes.
got in the movie. Why not?
Yes, go
Sure,
for it.
Yeah.
Go flick hard. And so, yeah, then he turns into Venom. They have the dance, and then of course, what's his name shows the monster shows up, and then shit gets out of hand. They end up at Area 51, and then we have our long final battle, right? And then all the symbiotes happen, most of whom I don't give a shit about.
No, yeah, and then they die real quick.
Yeah. So here's a question: where's all the security guards? How come when the family shows up at Area 51, they're able to just sneak in? I understand it's abandoned, but goddamn,
I know.
You'd
That would
still
never
have,
happen.
You'd still have a
You'd have
security guard.
people.
You know, like how many videos have you seen online where someone gets in trouble for being in a parking lot that is supposedly to a mall that's abandoned? That happens all the time. So it's like, Area 51 surely would have a security guard.
Yeah.
At least one.
Well, they're still.
You know,
like,
Paul Blart. You know, someone just going around on a Segway. So anyway. MZ says, I agree with Jaby. Let there be carnage. There's a scene where Cletus breaks into a deli and Carnage uses his symbiote to literally hack into the internet in order to find his girlfriend.
Oh. Well, maybe Carnage is smarter than Venom. The Nothing's like, Venom is like a child in this trilogy. How the hell is he going to count cards? Exactly. He's just having fun gambling.
It is called an ARC. Arc. I don't know. Last time
Why aren't you smarter in counting cards? Where's your arc?
What are you doing? Jared Stark says, last time I wanted an on-screen romance, then House of the Dragon Season 2 with Rhaenyra and her husband's former boo. I stopped manifesting.
Venom, now take a hit on your bong.
Caught me off guard. It wasn't the one I wanted, but it's the one I got. Do you think we'll ever see a new Blade movie? Yes. Yes.
It just keeps getting delayed, though.
After Wesley Snipes pays his taxes, we'll get another Blade movie.
But they weren't going to cast him anyway.
I know, I'm just joking.
Okay.
So, well, if people can storm the Capitol, I'm sure citizens can storm government facilities that are abandoned.
They weren't even storming, they just snuck in. So
That's a little different, but like the Capitol has security, so I just think Area 51 should have had security, at least one person patrolling. You know,
yeah.
it could have been like a Metal Gear Solid soldier. What's that noise? And then whose footprints are these? You know, and then nothing. You know, and then go back to like your parameter.
Yeah,
So I guess it's nothing. Okay, so the whole action sequence with the monster showing up, I thought the shit was gonna hit the fan even harder in like because you have these monsters that are seemingly invincible, and then Null realizes they're on Earth, and he's like, "Oh, there they are, go after them." And I'm like, "Okay." So I'm expecting it's gonna be full blown like Avengers Endgame or something, and then like 2 more show up. What the
I
hell?
know.
It's
Like,
so
how many
weird.
do you have now?
Like, it's just like, yo, like, wouldn't you want to recall all of them from all the other worlds and have them go right there? And I don't know. And then with how invincible they were, it was a little bit hard for me to buy that the acid killed them.
Yeah.
But
No, and another funny detail about the acid, right? So in the beginning of the movie, they set up that the acid is like very hardcore because they put something in there, like a tank or like a thing, right? It's made out of metal and whatnot. They pour the acid on it and it's like, oh, it disintegrates. Wow, that's some scary acid. And then in the lovely, lovely sacrificing moment when Venom's like, and then he like goes in the thing and then he gets this door
Yeah.
and like puts it on top of Eddie to protect him. I'm like, but Venom, didn't you see earlier on when like the acid like completely decimated this thing that was made of metal? Is this special metal and glass that's going to keep your friend safe? Okay, I've stopped using my brain now.
It's not just that. There was like a massive explosion. I'm like, that little door ain't gonna protect him from that massive explosion. That decimated that entire area. It would be a crater. And like, he just walks out of there. I'm like, okay, I fully believe the only way that would work is if a piece of Venom is still with him. That's the only, like, how else would he stay alive? There's no way he's gonna survive that big explosion. It's like the sheer force of that explosion alone is gonna crush him. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way you'd survive that just because you got a door on you.
Yeah,
That's some bullshit.
it is bullshit. But I'm glad that Eddie was okay.
Yeah.
And it was a very, very moving sacrifice.
I think I've watched too many Mythbusters. There's a scene in the film where the family's like being told to get under the truck when the helicopter's spraying fire or something like that. I forget exactly what it was going on, but I remember bullets are raining and the family's going under the truck. They've shown you on shows like Mythbusters that wouldn't do shit. Those are very easy to shoot straight through.
Oh.
And so
I haven't watched that episode. So
anyway, so then everybody dies except for Karen. She gets the power. They take it away from the black lady. And the Christmas tree.
yeah.
And they give it to Karen.
Bullshit.
I don't know why she had to get her power taken away.
I know. She was so brave though. Like I appreciated that she was like very brave from the start, you know, and she was the one that inspired everyone else to kind of be like, okay, I'm gonna fight as well. And then to have Dr. Payne come in at the last minute and like steal her thunder or her lightning, quite whatever. And then be like, woo, look at me, I'm so cool. It's like, bitch, what? Why weren't you here sooner?
Yeah.
Everyone else was fighting. Your friends were literally dying.
And then Christmas
you
Tree
were like, oh.
Yeah, and Christmas Tree could have kept her powers then.
Yeah, then you could have fought together. It would have been so cool. But no, we can't do that for reasons.
Yeah.
Why? I'm not sure.
Are you excited for the next Christopher Nolan movie, which will be a horror with Tom Holland and Matt Damon?
Yes. Always excited
Wow.
for more Christopher Christopher Nolan.
Wow, I did not know it was a horror movie.
I didn't know it was a horror movie. I knew that Tom Holland was working with Christopher Nolan, but I didn't realize it was a horror. That
Yeah.
should be fun.
This should be fun.
Yeah.
So after that, we have our Achara's favorite scene in the whole movie, which is Tom Hardy walking to the Statue of Liberty. Go ahead, Achara. The show's yours.
That upset me. Like I talked to them about this after the movie because I was like, okay, we just had like a very emotional sacrifice of the character that we loved. Like Venom is dead. For all intents and purposes, he is dead, right? And then you have to choose that. Like, what song was that? Like from Maroon 5? Which is like kind of upbeat, even though the lyrics are kind of sad. But I was just like, why this song? Could we not just have some sad instrumentals or something? Or whatever. It was overpowering. And like, I'm not usually one to get very upset about music choices in movies. I usually just vibe along and I'm like, oh, it's fun. But this one I was like, no, I don't like it. It's not letting me feel that emotion, that catharsis that I was feeling for his sacrifice. It just felt really cheesy and lame. And I did not like it.
Mm.
And so I felt like I was pulling a Jaby, because Jaby's normally like, oh, I hate lyrical music in movies. I think it's so dumb.
It just depends. If it feels like it's going to date the movie quickly, then yeah.
It's not so much that it's dating the movie. I just think it was not a good choice. It felt like Sony told the director, like, hey, these are the artists that we have on our roster and you can use this music. Also, would you mind using this song? Like, could you? And then she had no choice.
Yeah.
That's what I felt.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I just hated the way that they handled that. I don't even think they needed music at all.
Yeah.
Honestly, like you could have had the flashbacks. Just have the city noise.
Yeah.
Just have the city noise as he's walking up, and have the flashbacks play without any actual sound. And then he gets to the Statue of Liberty, and just keep it silent. Don't have him say anything.
Yeah.
Because him saying "I'll never forget you" or whatever, I'm like, this is so cringy. Just stop. Just shut up.
It just wasn't good. I'm glad I'm not the only one that felt that way.
Yeah.
But like, and Courtney's not here, so she can't say this, but she made a really great point as well. It's like, and the flashbacks that they were using were literally flashbacks of stuff that we had just seen
Earlier in the
movie. It's like, but you also made a really good point when you said so much of the relationship between Eddie and Venom takes place like in his head.
Yeah.
So it's like, it actually is really hard to show that visually.
Yeah.
In like a
there's not a whole lot of moments of just showing Venom and Eddie Brock hanging out, both in form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to do. So like
Yeah.
I get that, but it just wasn't really working for this whole like flashback sequence. And I wonder if there was a different way that they could have done it that could have like actually made us cry.
Yeah, it felt like a rush to the end. Like, we got to get this movie over so we can get the next show going, kind of thing. And we already talked about the post credits. So there, we covered the whole film.
Yeah.
We did it. So
Fun time, not perfect movie.
Yeah.
But what did you expect?
I think that Noel was Norman Reedus. That's an interesting idea.
I thought I saw that it was actually what's his face?
Meagle? Andy Serkis?
Yes. I thought I saw his name in the credits. But maybe he was just doing the body. But like, he literally was just doing this for the whole time.
I don't know if just Willcat is still here. He says, I'm still salty with how easily they killed Carnage in the second movie.
Yeah.
I love the mom from Euphoria, who was the mom in this movie. Okay.
Yeah, Andy Serkis, no, uncredited, but I saw his name in the credits. I was like, really? I guess maybe they're like we said, they're just setting him up for future films, but it felt like you're gonna get Andy Serkis to literally do this.
Yeah.
Like, why?
The real crime is them trying to shoehorn Null into the MCU in Spider-Man 4.
Perhaps. Like I said, I don't really know anything about Null. I wish that we had gotten more of him, to be honest. For the person who said, like, we needed another hour of movie to see more of Null, I don't know if we needed a full hour, but I would have really enjoyed getting to see a little bit more of him. Because, like, they're setting him up to be such a badass, but it's like, yeah, but you're in prison. Like, what? Okay, I want to care more about Null since you introduced him properly. Carry on.
Is it outside of the realm of possibilities that they could have had an overpowered Venom to fight the monsters, like where all the symbiotes fuse?
Be kind of cool, like a Megazord.
Yeah, like a Mega Venom or something. I don't know. Maybe that's too much.
Too much Venom.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we did it. We covered it. I'm gonna just let this go on a little bit for any questions that you guys want us to like talk about.
Like any chat.
How is it the last movie without showing the big boss at the end? Because it's a setup. You know, it's not too dissimilar from Black Widow. You know, that was just a setup. Even though it was supposed to be the swan song for Scarlett Johansson, it became a setup for her sister.
Yeah.
In the MCU, which is just like, that feels so weird. It's so frustrating when they do that. It's like Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, right? It's like, this is supposed to be a farewell film, and it's still a setup film for like other shit. And I'm just like, stop!
They are
stop setting things up. Just
always gonna do that.
Can you just let this be a movie and like? Anyway, yeah, like this. So that's not weird. At this point, nothing is weird. So. Nothing is strange. It's just except for Doctor. So it's just like everything's fine.
Yeah.
There's nothing is sacred anymore. You know. Yeah. So I like the beginning of the movie as it gives Null. You know what? For the fans of Null, I'm happy for you guys. I thought he was so generic. Like there was nothing special about that guy. Go and find me the Codex. I was like, all right. You know what are we doing here? I had no connection with that bad guy. I didn't know what he was about.
Yeah.
Like, is he the creator of the universe? Like, what the fuck is he?
No, he created the symbiotes. He's like their
I don't know anything about Null. I know nothing about Null.
They literally said this at the beginning of the movie. Then they turned against him.
I got that.
And then they trapped him, but they
created
these other creatures that can take out the symbiotes.
I think I misunderstood what was being described about Null. It was my own fault, I guess. But because like I was listening and I misunderstood what the delivery of information was.
Got it.
And so what happened to your wild robot reaction?
Oh,
it got blocked.
It got blocked.
And it was one of those things where we're like, yeah, we're not gonna fight this one. We're gonna just wait and then put it out again.
We'll re-release it
when it's like properly on streaming.
Yeah, because like we were like, oh, this is weird. It's come on streaming. It's also still in the cinema.
Yeah.
Maybe it would be okay to put it out.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, I guess not. All right, then. Chill, Universal. We'll wait. And so maybe in a few months we'll put it out. It was such a good film. But we did put out the watch along on Patreon. So if you can't wait and you want to just watch me absolutely ugly cry in that movie.
Okay.
Come join us.
Lucas Furtado said, in the comics, Null was a god that existed before the universe, and he liked it that it was empty and void. He got mad when the Big Bang happened, and the Celestials started creating stuff.
Oh.
So I'm not
that
like...
makes sense, because Null is nothing.
I'm not that far off from thinking like he had something to do with like early universe stuff.
Yeah, like creation, but not really creating because he didn't want to.
Yeah. Even though he created stuff.
Yeah.
Create those monsters.
Yeah, and the symbiotes.
I'm not sure if you answered this question yet, but what did you think of Toxin being in this movie?
Didn't really care. That's the answer.
Yeah. You guys need to react to the Faculty, underrated film. Nah, Null was a big fan. Null had like 3 or 4 lines in total. I mean, they were long. I just didn't connect.
Yeah.
You know, like at least with Thanos, even though his logic is so bad, I understand him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, Null, I just had zero connection. it was just weird. I would have almost rather they didn't even show that whole beginning with Null. Like, that would have been.
And then just like tease him at the end, kind of like how the first time we got Thanos, it was just as a tease, and then eventually it became more and more and more. It just felt like a bad tease to have him be in his whole scene introducing the movie, right?
Yeah.
And then not have him really come back at all. I was half expecting it to be like, oh, they managed to free him somehow, or he's able to like have more of his power come through, and then they have to like fight to imprison him again or something like that. But then they didn't, and so it was like, well, why have that whole thing in the beginning? I don't know.
So random question: have you guys ever loved a villain in a movie, show, and you loved the concept of them, but you felt like they didn't utilize the concept good enough? Probably many times, and I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
No, I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Like the first place my mind is going to is Dormammu from Doctor Strange. It's just like, I love Doctor Strange the film. It's one of my favorite MCU films, but I acknowledge that Dormammu is like the weakest villain. Like, what is? He has no no presence other than the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And there's a bargain. That's it. You know. Big Red and Bring It On, major opportunity for evil mean girl villain. They tried to replace it with the dynamic of Whitney and Courtney in her place. I don't know what we're talking about now. 2003 Shredder, comic book villains. I don't know. Tom Holland could have 3 mega movies in 2026.
We shall see.
Anyway, I think that we've covered the gamut, and I'm not seeing any new questions about Venom: The Last Dance. So, you guys, thanks so much for hanging. Thanks to all of the super chats. Really appreciate you guys. I'm going to go get myself a drink with whatever is left over after YouTube takes their cut. Thanks so much for hanging out, and y'all be good. Deuces.